It's Friday. Want to talk about being sober curious, what that does for us. Let us know where you're at with your drinking. Sober curious. That shaped my life. If I didn't become serious about alcohol and serious about my problems with alcohol and actually think about what a life would be like without alcohol, I wouldn't be in the position I am today, here with you guys. Possibly, I was heading in the wrong direction, and there was no way out other than to quit drinking. No possible healthy way out, anyway. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name's Josh, living life alcohol free. If you're returning, thank you guys so much for being here and subscribing and taking the time out of your morning to tune in here. And my last video on Wednesday, talking about the origins of being sober curious, what it is, and how just thinking about being alcohol free can free us and free up our mind space to kind of put in perspective what alcohol does to us. For me, the beginning of being sober curious was Annie Grace, This Naked Mind. Um, she wasn't the originator of it, I don't think, but it took into the 2010s for sober curious movement to really, I think, kind of start to take over. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that marijuana became legal in 2019 here in Michigan. A lot of people started to turn to weed instead of alcohol. And now when I kind of look at the weed place that I pass by quite frequently, um, I kind of think, man, people are just using weed like it's alcohol, recreational use. That's kind of what it turned into. And any way you slice it, using drugs and alcohol, and alcohol is a drug. Um, if you're using alcohol and drugs to cope with life, but you're thinking about what a life would be like without those substances, that's what this topic's about today, is what it's like, the origins of being sober curious, and how that can lead us to, a better life. Just kind of putting alcohol in its place and thinking about the potential of living life without alcohol. So if you're here, welcome. And so where I was with my drinking and thinking about what sobriety would be like, being curious about it. I like to explore things. It's something that really brings me joy. I like to do new things, experience new things, new ways of life. And drinking became just this pattern that was getting old. I drank for 27 years, and it became a point where I just decided, I have to try a different way because this isn't working anymore. And that was really what it took, and being curious about what a life could be like without alcohol was what really spurred this on. uh, we think about the boredom factor, we think about the anxiety that can kick in when we are thinking about being alcohol free. And Robert, if you're here, welcome in. Robert was wondering why, why he gets anxious in particular when he quits drinking or takes a day or two off from drinking. And I had to tell him, I mean, it's like our body needs the alcohol to quiet the withdrawal symptoms. Our body needs the alcohol to cope with what's going on in our life. Our bodies and our minds get used to alcohol. So if we don't have it, there's no doubt we're going to have fear and anxiety kick in to the point where it's hard to deal with life and deal with it without it. So my biggest response, my biggest thought about that was the fear of the unknown is a huge trigger. Like what is life going to be like without alcohol? And thinking about that, it led me down a path of, I can't do this. I can't do this. I don't have the power. I don't have the willpower. I don't have the group. I don't have the community, and all those things can lead us to potentially putting off the inevitable, which is we need time away from alcohol, and being curious about what a life could look like without it, and taking those initial baby steps is huge in this journey. So if you're curious about what a life could be like without alcohol, I would encourage you to try a day, just one day. Try to do some other things that doesn't involve alcohol, and really get curious about what brings you joy. What kinds of things you can do without alcohol? What kind of things can you do that you like doing that doesn't revolve around alcohol? Make it through that day, see how you feel the next day, and so on, and see if you can do another day and another day and another day. And once you get, some time under your belt, you're feeling good, you can you can really see what a life without alcohol can be like, and it's rewarding. It's exciting. It's new. It's every day is an adventure, and that's what I got for you guys today. So I'm heading off to work. I hope you guys have a great sober Saturday. For those of you that joined in, thank you so much for being here. Please consider subscribing, becoming a member, giving a super thanks, buy me a coffee, any of those kinds of things to support the channel. But either way, if you're just here and you're questioning your drinking, and you're in this community, that's all that matters. So I'm glad that you guys are here. Have a great sober weekend, and we'll see you next week.